Well, we still think the exact same thing. We think that once SB4, once it comes out in the wash, that there are at least some provisions of that that are going to be upheld as legal, such as trespassing. Texas has every right to enforce trespassing laws, as long as they don't say it's an immigration law, which the Supreme Court has determined that the federal government is the only ones that can enforce that. As long as they don't say it's immigration, as long as they say it's trespassing, they absolutely can enforce that. And all you have to do is look at what's happened in Texas. Ever since Governor Abbott has gotten involved in this, we have seen apprehensions go down and down and down. In fact, right now, the state of Texas, which has 1,250 miles of our border with Mexico, they're under 1,000 apprehensions right now, where the rest of the 700 miles of border with Arizona, New Mexico, and California are well above 2,500 apprehensions. So we've already seen a huge impact of what Governor Abbott has done. And what that does for Border Patrol is it frees up our resources. It allows us to go after the criminal cartels. It allows us to go after the gotaways. And that's extremely important, because that's how we save American lives.
Yeah, when you're not processing immigrants all day, you do actually get to do a law enforcement role. So I thought it was interesting that after SB4 got suspended by the Fifth Circuit, Mexico puffed out its chest and said, well, we weren't going to accept any migrants that you sent back anyway. And I can't imagine Mexican officials making a statement like that during the Trump presidency.
No, and they wouldn't. And the reason why that they do that is that they know that President Biden isn't going to step to the plate. They know that he's not going to enforce tariffs on them. They know that he's not going to push back against that. That rhetoric is exactly what we expect under this administration, because this administration just does not take a forceful approach to other countries. But even if they don't accept these people back, it doesn't matter. As long as Texas is prosecuting individuals for trespassing laws, they're going to stop coming, because the vast majority of these people that cross our borders illegally, they're hoping for legalization down the road, whether that's legal resident alien status or whether that's a United States citizen status. They want that. And if they have a prosecution on their record, they're not going to be able to get that status. So that alone, as long as they arrest people, that alone is going to force them to New Mexico, Arizona, and California.
So the Laken Riley murder is really catching a lot of political steam here in Washington, D.C., with the Laken Riley Act now before the Senate. Laken Riley's father appeared in the Senate in Atlanta, Georgia, the state capitol. Listen to what he said.
A man with an evil heart stole her life. He was in this country and in this state illegally. My vision for every senator in this chamber is that you protect citizens from this illegal invasion. Governor Kemp, please declare an invasion to detain and deport criminal illegals so we can prevent future families from those tragedies.
That's the same sort of process that Greg Abbott was thinking of doing. If you declare an invasion under the Constitution, you're allowed to take some action. But his argument, the father's argument, is particularly powerful. And do you think that's going to change the tone of the whole debate as we march toward November?
I absolutely think it will. And when you look at an invasion, when you declare that, if you look at who's facilitating the crossings, whether it's illegal immigrants, whether it's drugs, criminal aliens, aliens from special interest countries, these are cartels. These are quasi-military organizations. So I absolutely think that if you tie it to that, you can in fact say this is an invasion. This is being facilitated and orchestrated by quasi-military organizations, which is what we must show. And yes, the cartels then allows us to go after them. But when you have voices like the father of Laken Riley, that allows us to get out in front of this problem. And as long as we continue to speak up about it, I do think that